I'm Jerusha Sukhia Rath and you're watching News 24 Live. Now we know that you're not supposed to speak about sex, religion or politics in polite conversation, but we're South African and that just never happens. So to talk sex, religion and politics, I'm joined in studio by two young opinion makers. I'm joined by Bjorn Moyo and Ansra Danita. They're going to chat sex, religion, politics with us. And really, it's not going to be very different to what you chat about with your friends. Honestly, Bjorn?
We'll see, we'll find out.
Ansra?
I always talk about sex, religion and politics all the time, so let's go for it.
So, have you guys had a good week so far? Feeling chilled?
Can't complain. It's been one of those Mondays, but so we'll see how the week goes.
Well, let's see if we can make you feel a little bit better with some good news. And we'll start off with the sex portion of our show. And News 24's really been covering it. News 24 Live's got a lot of the video coverage of this. It's the world's first penis transplant done by South African doctors. Bjorn, what are your initial thoughts?
First and foremost, well, it's kind of one of those topics that hasn't really surfaced to the top in quite a while. And being a penis transplant, it's definitely a world first. So pretty proud of the medical scene in South Africa, because this, well, in my lifetime, this is the second biggest thing that the world has actually seen South Africa do first, and it's a good start. We'll see what happens in the medicine field in the future.
It's actually quite funny. When I was at in the shopping mall trying to go do groceries, the headlines on all the newspapers was first penis transplant, and a whole bunch of women were very shy and blushing about it. But I think it's fantastic, specifically because of all the controversy surrounding initiation and circumcisions, and the fact that the guy who got the penis, he got it because of a botched circumcision. I think that makes it even more fantastic and more great. And also, yeah, like Bjorn said, another first for South Africa, first heart transplant and now first penis transplant. Quite interesting.
I made the horrible mistake on my Facebook page of trying to make a point about, there are always those people on your Facebook page who are leaving South Africa and it's all so bad and they're moving and they're taking their family. And so I tried to make a point by saying, ha ha to you people who are leaving South Africa, look what we did. But I ended the post with the words, suck it.
Yeah, that's got to be
without realizing what I was doing. The thing is that this topic is just kind of wide open for really awkward puns.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
so
definitely.
many.
It's one of those things that people talk about it jokingly. Now something serious has actually happened towards that field. It's now it's like, okay, do we still approach it the same way we normally would, or do we now take it lightheartedly like we did before? Is it banter among friends, or is it now a topic to actually be like, okay, I'm going for my penis transplant next week? We'll see. It's a bit lopsided. Excuse the pun.
Do you see
Yeah.
what I mean? So the thing about it is, and Ansra, you've brought it up already, it's such an important topic because reports are suggesting there are around 200 South African men losing their penises every year to ritual circumcisions that go wrong. What I found really fascinating, and Bjorn, I want to talk to you about this first, was that the researchers were not saying that ritual circumcision is a bad thing. And I think that's where a lot of people get it wrong. They say we need to end this practice, it's ridiculous. The researchers are not saying that at all. What they're saying is, let's just make it safer. What's your take?
Look, personally, I think from a rituals perspective, I think it should move towards something that happens more in the modern sense. So having individuals come into hospital and get it done professionally, I think it's the way it should happen now. To say that it should continuously be a ritual thing, not necessarily. I think the modern day man needs to really just take it in their stride and go with it. It should be part of our daily lives, just the same way you go to the dentist to get your teeth checked. It should be done in all hospitals, not just in the villages or wherever on the outskirts. But I think we should embrace it more, because statistically it is a safer thing to do for men. But we'll see if the times will go with people. I don't know. It's a difficult topic.
It is. It's so difficult when you start talking about culture. It's always very tricky.
Yeah, I think that it's an important practice because a lot of people, they want it to happen because it's part of their culture. I know a lot of my friends have had it done, and it's because they're not really men until they've had it done. And for them, they're proud that they're circumcised and they've gone out to the bush and done all of those things. Having said that, you don't have to stop these rituals and make, like Beyonce said, make it more progressive. Do it in the hospitals. I mean, you can still go out in the bush, but have the actual surgery done in a better facility where there are less chances of you losing your penis and having to need a penis transplant. And also, it's a matter of, for me, I thought when I saw this, a man losing his penis, it must be very difficult because so much of your masculinity, well, for men, I assume, I am not a man, but I assume that many men, there's so much masculinity surrounded about their penis and their ability to use it and to make have sex, father children, and if you lose that, you lose a huge part of yourself. So the fact that you can regain that, I think, is also really, really incredible.
And it also makes me just so proud of our South African doctors, because clearly they are really at another pun, at the cutting edge of their field. They really are the best in the world.
Yeah, they're world class, exactly. And a lot of people, I mean, they look at Africa. I hate the fact that Africa is a sort of a country now, not a continent. But they look at Africa like this dark shadow, but there are so many great things coming out of it, and particularly this. I mean, it's a world first, it's incredible. Our economies are merging, and now our medical advances are becoming really, really great and taking notice, which is great.
Bjorn, did you feel proud of South Africa when you heard the news?
It was a bit of a tricky title to be reading, to be honest, being a man and all. But yeah, by the time I'd gotten through it and read it all top to bottom, it really was something to be proud of, because it is one of those things that in medical history, it has never come up. And it's such a very, well, in this case, excuse the pun, a delicate transplant.
Too many puns.
Way too many puns. But a delicate procedure to get done. You cannot not be proud of South Africa. It's something that obviously for a lot of guys, if it goes wrong, it's hard for you to recover from. And because it's a first in the world, there are a huge list of problems that could go wrong from such a surgery. So to have it done and to actually accomplish it properly, that it's definitely something to be proud of. I can't think of anything else really to say about it.
Just to add to that, it's not just in the South African context. I mean, at Women 24, we've been getting a lot of stories about women who've been throwing acid at their cheating husbands' penises and cutting them off. So there are many, many circumstances. I'm not saying that all of them are that extreme, but there are many situations where men could lose the ability to use their penis. And worldwide, the fact that they can actually regain the use of the penis through a penis transplant is incredible.
Now, what really struck me about this story, going back to what you're saying, is that it was first done in China. So, of course, South Africa's done the first successful one. But in China, the patient actually had it removed after a while because of the psychological implications that it had on him and his wife. His wife just couldn't come to terms with it. And I didn't quite think of that before I met with the doctors and spoke to them, that this isn't just a physical thing. It is hugely emotionally stressful. Bjorn, I'm sure you can imagine that it would be.
Yeah, obviously. Look, at the end of the day, it's still a part of you. And so for you to have such an important part of your, well, in this manlyhood, changed or it go wrong, it affects you as a person all the way down to your psyche. So it's something that you've grown up with. Now somewhere along the line in your life it's changed. So I can understand where it could go horribly wrong for a person. Look, in some cases, this is just as bad as PTSD. So you have a situation where someone is trying to use something that they've always had in their entire lives, and now you can't use it. And then to make matters worse, you've gone and done an operation to try and fix it, and it's botched. So it's not really helping the situation whatsoever. And for two individuals to come to terms with that, never mind just the person involved. Look, couples are couples. At the end of the day, they share a lot of stuff, and if it affects one person in the couple, it's highly likely to affect the other. So I can totally understand as to why something like this would happen. You take the situation with the lady with cancer. You know, something like that, it affects a lot of people. So this transplant is definitely one of those areas where it should be treated just the same way you would treat anything else, like cancer, Alzheimer's, etc. So for people to be affected on a psychological level, definitely something that will happen quite easily. Whether or not they recover from it, Obviously, that's now something for the medical field to look into. But I personally, if I was in his situation, it'd be really tough.